not aware. I kind of racked my brain trying to think of something super cool we could do for number 50, and I don't really have a lot of ideas aside from just a shout out that it is the 50th, which is cool. And I think they have been going for more than a year actually now. I don't know when the official 1 year anniversary was. I'd have to track that down, but still cool to note that we got 50 firesides, more than a year of these. And of course, WA closing in on year number 18. We're less than 3 months away from that, so that's pretty cool.
Oh, look, we're almost legal.
Yeah, I know,
Yes.
right?
Wow, way to steal my joke. Jeez.
And other than that, we've got as far as going on this week. I know I personally didn't get too much done. A couple of updates here and there. I think I did a couple of codex entries. One thing, this is just sort of an aside, but if you look stuff up in Shrine of Ugo, I pretty much read every channel on the server, but I usually check that. And so if you search for something that doesn't exist, or you search for something and I notice it's outdated or something in there, usually I make a note of that and like try to work on it or something. So even just like spending some time just like searching a couple things in there can actually help me and the Scribes Guild get stuff updated because it shows us like what people are looking for. So somebody searches for some old family, like the Syorlings or something from House Thief, and it's like, oh, no entry there. That sends a signal to me and us to be like, oh, okay, let's try to make that because that's a good reminder because there's so many potential entries we could do. It's hard to figure out what to prioritize that way. But yeah, we're gonna keep on trucking on that, and I think I'm going to try to keep writing some more treatises and finish the origin of the Manylings too, the final part 4. Hopefully it will be out sooner rather than later. So that'll be cool. Other than that, let's see. Stuff going on this week. A lot coming to mind. I know there's one or two random things I did, like I updated one or two mark boards for people, so shout out to those who didn't know those existed. Those are still there under WAS Cipher in the Marks Gallery and also in the Monolith, where all the important threads are kept. There is a thread with everyone's mark boards on them too, and you can even take the images and put them in your signature in the forums too if you want to. That's how I did with mine. They're kind of the right size to fit that, so yeah, so I think that about does it as far as what I've been working on. Yeah, nothing else coming to mind. Maybe if I'll remember something else later on during the chat, but pretty quick once over review of the week's activities there. I think that is about it. I guess this is quite a ways in the future, but I'm probably planning on doing a house war, a your thing, around June 1st for the anniversary. So and actually, Anarian just brought this up because he was asking about duels. With an eye for people who, insult some other house or a family, and then that person could then challenge them to a duel. And my first thought was like, well, we don't really need like a rule for that. Like, you can always challenge somebody to a duel. You don't really need a structure. But he did get me thinking. Actually, it might be cool to have some kind of structure, and got me thinking that we need to get the rules straight before the next House War too. So if anybody has any ideas on if you participated in the last Hjorthing or Yarnrith, the Warband and House competitions, or any previous House War or whatever, and you have ideas, things that you think could be improved or changed, or just any kind of random thoughts you have, definitely feel free to let me know, or any officers know. We're probably going to talk about it in the All thing and try to put some stuff together, get like a good rule set ready so we know it'll be fair and hopefully everyone will have fun. But yeah, the plan is to have a Hjorthing sometime around June 1st, probably in June would be my guess. It was pretty successful right around that time last year. So that will be fun. There'll probably be marks for it and stuff too, so be sure to participate. And, yeah, that's kind of all I've got written down here. Yeah, so I guess we'll just open it up. Who's got any topics they want to discuss?
I got a couple from Pato.
Yeah, let's go for it.
So first things first. the Viking Age's first year anniversary is fast approaching. Were we planning to do anything or honor it in any way?
Ah, that is a good topic. I'll write that down. I hadn't put any thought into it specifically. I mean, in the past, I guess, and there's always the caveat of like, oh, just because we didn't do it before, doesn't mean we shouldn't do it now. But in the past, we've never really paid any attention to the anniversaries of like specific eras starting and ending. But I'm definitely down to have some kind of celebration or at least acknowledge it. Beyond that, though, I honestly wouldn't have much idea. I mean, I wouldn't want to do a house war or something like that because, like I said, we're doing that later. But if anyone has any ideas for like games or whatever, some way to celebrate, totally.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I know what we could do. We could all get into channel like this and then just start singing karaoke.
Yes, this is the greatest idea.
Yes.
Let's blow the
Yes.
fuck up out of this server cluster. Just
Yeah.
fucking decimate that shit.
I'm totally down for this.
Wow, on cue, Manny.
I'm down for that.
100%.
Look, it's gaining support. It's trending.
Karaoke.
Yeah, now trending on Twitter. WA blows up Discord servers.
Please.
Okay, well, that's one idea. Well, if anybody comes up with any more, I can always feel free to throw them.
I don't think
my
that's
way.
like the idea.
I mean, you guys can do whatever you want.
Ritual
I definitely
sacrifice.
think
To-
it would
to a
be good
reasonable
idea to
degree.
do some sort of a
Come
festival.
on, Vest, don't you want a karaoke Don't Stop Believing for all of us?
Not particularly, I'll
Man.
be honest with you.
No, we're all gonna sit in a channel and at the same time sing Country Road.
Almost heaven.
Yeah.
You don't want to
West
take us home,
Virginia.
Vest, to
West
the motherland, dude? Come
Blue
on.
Ridge Mountain,
No
Shenandoah
thanks.
River.
All right. Well, okay, that's one thing I got written down, so we'll keep brainstorming ideas for that too. Do you have some other
It's
stuff,
when we'll
Eld?
start the WA comp.
Oh, what was that? Didn't quite hear you.
Do you have some other stuff?
Yeah. Second, the Guardians of Ran war bands each have their own description of their ships, and Pato would love to see all of our main ships described the same way. Some of the other I'm not even gonna try pronouncing it. I'm gonna break that. War bands have them as well, but I'd like to see all of them plus both flagships of each great company described as well.
That's an
So are
excellent
we
idea.
talking like he's trying to call for companions of Aegir to
Yeah.
do
Yeah, I think
descriptions
that's
or
what it is. I couldn't
Aegir?
pronounce.
Okay. Is it Aegir or Aegir?
It's Igear.
Thank you.
It's what?
Igear.
Aegir. Okay. So yeah, then I think that's definitely a good idea, particularly with the great company ships, because that's kind of been an enigma up until this point. There hasn't really been anything solid on that. We know they're absolutely massive, but
That is all we know, yeah.
Yeah.
other than that,
No, the Oon's Favored has our ship is mostly done. I don't know what else Llamas has to do to it. I'm not sure.
I really like that. I mean, certainly there's a huge number of ships that are not specific to war bands. We've got Seeker, Vigilant, naming Cypher, and Stalwart, plus all the ones on the forums, which I believe are Loki, Varsis, and I think those might be the only two. So there's definitely a lot there, and I can work at describing some of those. But yeah, I think that's an easy codex entry that would count for anyone who wants to do that for the war bands. And yeah, I suppose if if Sola wants to talk about the WASI Gear 2, yeah, I think that's an awesome idea. I mean, I have enjoyed reading all the ship descriptions for Rand so far. So cool. I'll definitely make a note of that, at least myself, to write up some more descriptions about some of those more non-warband / non-great company ships. But yeah, I think we can definitely do that. And I mean, to any Jarls, Huskarls, whoever who don't feel like they can write a description for the ship, certainly that is what the Scribes Guild is for, so let us know. There is official request form in the Monolith on the forums, or you can just ping us or message us too. All right. Well, did Pato have anything else he gave over to you, El?
One last thing. It is Raud's birthday tomorrow.
Ooh.
So
Did I hear WA happy birthday
Yes.
song?
Yes, you
Yeah.
did.
You did.
It sounds really important because everyone's here in the channel.
Oh man, not again.
For sure again.
I'm on mobile too, so it'll sound
We
even
need to
fucking
wait
better.
until midnight to do this.
I mean,
Done.
could
No, we
certainly
don't,
do it
because no one will
tomorrow.
be around.
Or midnight.
Right
No
at
one's-
midnight.
No one's allowed to
Or
Well,
we
leave.
I
could
am
do it in
gonna
the
say that
Fireside chat, that way
Fireside and
it's in
everybody's
record.
here right now.
Oh, okay. She wants it now. All right, who's leading
Exactly.
it?
That's what I'm saying.
Manny, take it away, man.
Alrighty.
Country
1,
road.
2, 3. Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday
to you.
No.
Happy birthday
to
to you. Happy
birthday,
birthday,
dear
Rod.
Happy
birthday
to
you.
Yay.
That just
And-
ruined my headset.
Holy fuck. Rest in peace, server.
Thanks for breaking my Discord, guys.
You're welcome.
That's what we're here for. Happy
Yep.
birthday, Rod.
Thank you.
one step closer to dying.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, happy
Little
birthday,
tits are
Rod.
6
I'm sure
feet
we'll
below.
have more birthday wishes tomorrow too, but you're right. It's a good time to shout it out. What was that? Was that it, Eld, or?
That is it on
All
my
right.
part.
Well, cool. I don't know that I really have anything else. I didn't hear from Rand or anybody that we had a speech or a talk or anything for post Fireside. So I don't know if anybody else has anything they want to bring up, questions, thoughts, anything like that, or something I'm forgetting.
I actually do have something that I want to bring up real quick, particularly pertaining to Kolga's Frostguard. Our warband focus has recently changed, so of course, I posted that in the announcements. Kolga's Frostguard is no longer League of Legends and Guild Wars 2 focus. We are now League of Legends and Apex Legends focus. A very, very legendary combination there. We are Raiders. And so I was looking into possibly trying to start up some sort of an Apex Legends night where people can go ahead. I understand that the maximum party size for Apex is 3 players, but at the same time, I was thinking we could all go ahead to channels and start doing some sync drops with the attempt of getting into queue together. I know that that was something that happened a lot in World of Tanks. I don't necessarily know about WA's World of Tanks, but when I was in World of Tanks clans, that
Yeah.
happened a lot and
Yeah,
stuff
we
like
tried.
that. So, yeah, I definitely think that that's something that would be really fun to do because right now they don't have any sort of like any sort of custom lobby. The biggest problem is that we already have a metric ton of game nights going on. We have like, it seems as if we have one almost every night, and then the other issue is that the nights that we don't have one is when I'm not around, so I wouldn't be available to lead that. But I am looking for possible input from anyone, not necessarily just members of Kolga's Frostguard, but pretty much anyone that might be interested in Apex Legends, running some sort of an Apex Legends night. To those of you who don't play it, the game is free on Origin, and it's very, very fun and easy to pick up. But yeah, if y'all have any sort of ideas or something like that, please feel free to send me a DM at any time, and I'll respond to it as soon as I can, just because I do want to get something going on. There's been quite the lack of activity within Kolga's Frostguard as of late, and that's not something that I want to become regular. I do want some more activity for the warband, so.
Well, Manny, I'm sure somebody could take up the mantle of leading it. Doesn't have to be you. I'm sure we could find somebody. So I wouldn't worry about that. And it's kind of good that every warband sort of has a night, at least for one of its games, just to show activity.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I figure. And then more than anything, it'll just, kind of help with some of our newer players. Because we already have like a Rainbow Six Siege night, which, we do have a lot of Siege players in Colgas. But I mean, Rainbow Six Siege isn't one of our designated games because we already have our two. Otherwise, I would designate that as one of our games. But so I definitely think that would help, particularly help bring in some more activity.
I don't think it necessarily has to be on like a separate night. I mean, there's so many games in the world, we can't really expect only one game night to happen per night. Put it on a night that, there's not very many Apex players playing other games. Like, I don't know how many play like Warhammer or Monster Hunter.
I mean, I was thinking, one of the weekends, like Friday, Saturday, Sunday nights, but at the same time, that's also when the majority of our other nights go on. I was thinking possibly Saturday nights though. So I'll probably, when I get home from work, because I'm actually on my way to work right now, I'll probably go ahead and like drop a post in the Apex Players channel, and then just kind of try to gauge what we're looking at as far as when people will be available in order to actually participate, and then we'll see if we can take it from there.
We could compromise and hold a game night bi-weekly. Just something to keep in mind.
That is true.
Oh, like alternate,
That
like
is
have
very
a
Yeah.
game. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's an option.
I also like the idea of bi-weekly game nights, because then it's not like overwhelming. It's
Mhm.
hard.
Yeah, it's not just constant one game over and over.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I wrote that down. So yeah, I think the more game nights, the better. And yeah, I mean, I agree. We don't necessarily have to be afraid of stuff conflicting, whether it's we want to switch to biweekly or we just have stuff going on at the same time that overlaps. I mean, some of us play like multiple different games that have different game nights, but I think for the most part, it's not a huge challenge to find nights where like, oh, let's see, these people are playing World of Warships, but none of them play, Apex or whatever, what have you, and certainly doable.
Yeah, and you can also alternate the days of the week every other week. So like if there is overlap, then you can catch more people in one week, but for the people who still want to have it, you can have it a different day for a different group. Like I know, for instance, Ricky works on Wednesdays, so it's tough for me to catch him during the times. I mean, he comes by later, but then he can't participate with the group. So if it was like instead of Wednesday, if it was like Thursday or something, say, then he could be there during the time with the group, and it just keeps everyone together. So you could also look at that.
For sure.
Just so people like know it's alternating, though, you kind of have to keep track. Is it the first or third week of the month? Is it the second or fourth? But I think people would get used to it.
Yeah, we got the calendar, everything to fall back on. We did fix, by the way, I talked to Lamas, shout out to him for making the calendar, and also for fixing it, because we realized that we put the roll calls as ending, or he had the symbols in the right spot, but actually said the roll call ends on Sunday, when technically the roll call doesn't end until like Monday night, and the new roll call starts on Tuesday. So, yeah. I don't know that there is too much confusion. I mean, ultimately the purpose is just that the roll call is posted. Whoever posted the roll call or didn't post it, I mean, not a lot of people are relying on swooping in at the last second of a 2-week period posting the roll call, but just to clear up some confusion, something that I remembered. Cool. Well,
I have something.
yeah, sure.
So just a little plug. So if you haven't noticed, we've been building a very strong Elder Scrolls Online community. So if you're looking to participate in a new game or a new MMO, there's a lot of people playing Elder Scrolls Online on the server here, and we actually have our own guild that, especially Ath, and it has contributed a lot to. And basically, we have people running dailies every day at some point of the day. And if you're considering it but are worried about people being too far ahead, don't worry about that because we're always willing to help people catch up to us. I mean, Ath and Ishi are like way ahead of me, but they still play with me every day. So just something to consider if you're looking to pick up a new game. You don't really have to buy the full, you could just pay the $20 version and get just the base game. Or one thing that we would suggest is if you are interested in eventually owning the entire thing is paying the membership and then using your monthly coins to just buy the DLC on the way so that you can eventually just, stop paying for the monthly membership. But if anybody wants to, has any questions about our guild or is thinking about starting to play, just reach out to Ath or I because Ath is the main guild leader, but I'm pretty much secondarily. I pretty much have the same permissions and everything. So.
Cool. Yeah. Well. Anybody have anything else they want to bring up? Questions, thoughts, concerns, topics?
I don't know. The only other thing I could think of is the push to talk channels.
That's right. Yes, that was something that was just brought up. Actually, I think Bjorn had brought it up previously, and I don't know if we had a conclusion. I guess we didn't really feel it was super urgent, but I don't really see any harm in it. And I mean, I almost always use push to talk. If I do use voice activity, I'm pretty conscious about the background noise. I definitely can understand some concerns about that. So I see no harm in creating one or two push to talk voice channels, which, as I said in the all thing, I am going to do that, and I'll probably just put in parentheses PTT or something in those voice channel names, and shouldn't be a huge deal. I mean, if you want to go in those channels, you have to use push to talk. If you don't want to use push to talk, there's tons of other channels. So
yeah,
even if
we do like one for guests and then one for internal only, then I mean that way we have some representation outside and inside the clan. Maybe we split it up like that. So there are two technically channels that do it, but we kind of make that accessible to guests as well.
Yeah, there's one option. I mean, my thought was just to put both of them under WAS Seeker. I guess I could do that, but then still make one of them only accessible.
I don't know. I mean, do you think guests would appreciate something like that?
It's possible. I mean, we don't really hear from most of our guests, right? Most of them are just kind of lurkers, you might say.
Yeah.
So it's quite possible there's some that would join voice if it was push to talk only. Wouldn't surprise me if there's at least.
Yeah, I don't know if that's an actual thing, but I feel like if you're gonna have two channels, you might as well split it.
Yeah, I think that makes sense to me. I think that's probably what I'll do.
Cool.
And then yeah, just to refresher in my personal plans for the week would be I'm trying to probably do more codex work and maybe a treatise or something. Origin of the Manualing is kind of what I'm working on right now. We are still Scribes Guild working on getting everyone Raider or above a codex entry. We're making a lot of progress on that, and I want to say we have everyone Huskarl up already has one, but between Raiders and Berserkers, I want to say we have at least half of them done. And I think everyone Raider Plus already has an entry. The problem is that about half of them are still outdated, so that's kind of the project right now. So we'll keep working on that. Alright, I guess we'll probably look to sign off here. Anybody have any closing things they thought?
Yeah, I got one thing.
Yeah, sure.
If anybody can't afford, ESO or something for the base game, just I'd be more than happy to, buy you the game if you're really interested in the time. Because I mean, this is something that I'll be playing for at least 5 years to come because they keep dropping new DLC and great content. So if you need the game and you can't afford it, just let me know, and I'll be more than happy to help you out.
Awesome, that's super cool. I've been playing with it a bit. I guess I have a tendency to not want to like power level so much as like wander around, but I have been meaning to get more into it and play more with the rest of you guys too.
See, I've just been focused on the power leveling aspect, and I'm still trying to catch up on quest. I think Ishii and Rod actually have me quests and zone completion.
Ah, I gotcha. Well, cool. Alrighty, I think with that we'll go ahead and end the fireside. Once again, number 50. Don't have
Woot.
too much special to do, but yeah, I guess I mean, in a way, it's a decent time to acknowledge where WA is at, really, which is, like I said, going on 18 years, which is it's weird to think about because it's obviously nobody's ever been forced to do anything for WA, forced to join, forced to, become an officer, get promoted, or accept any of these responsibilities. It's just every single day people just showing up and caring about it. And I kind of feel the same way as far as it's something that I care a lot about that I've never really been forced to care about. I think that's probably why most people are still sticking around is they like it and they just yeah, I mean people definitely feel a connection to it. I think at this point with each passing day it becomes more special how long we've been around and all the cool stuff we do, like houses and songs and stories and histories and war bands and everything like that. The Fireside Chat too, we're kind of developing our own tradition here, even if it's only 1 year out of 17.75. So yeah, I mean, I guess thank you to everyone now showing up, but also everyone who's helped since I became emperor 3.5 years ago, and everyone who's been around since June 1st, 2001, or even helping Dane before then, really, because technically it's just a group effort of hundreds and hundreds, even thousands of people, and it's crazy to think about. But yeah, I guess thank you is really all we can say, and here's to another 50 fireside chats, another 18 years.
Wow, laying it on thick, Vest. Them feels.
Hey, I got to do something for the 50th, and we're here at the end of the fireside, so that's the best I can do. I think it's true. So we'll be back for number 51 next week. As far as I know I've always reserved the right to cancel. We've had to cancel a couple, but try to keep them steady. So thanks everyone showing up. Thanks anyone watching live or watching the VOD. We'll be back for Fireside Chat 51 next Thursday at 5 p.m. Pacific.